Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another interesting episode of Millennial and Money. And today I'm really excited because I'm not here alone, but I'm also not here with familiar people. However, I can already tell that today's episode will be epic, and because I've already felt the energy, and the energy is just great. Before we even waste time, they'll just go ahead and introduce themselves. So I'll be starting with the man at the end of the table, so just introduce yourself. But before you do, my name is Kamba, Queen Kamba, or Blessing Kamba, like my parents call me. Yeah, so that's moi, your host. So please introduce yourself.
Hi guys, so my name is Benedict Ogenede. I'm excited to be here sharing this table with amazing people.
Hi everyone, my name is Jennifer. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you.
Hi everyone, my name is Omoni Yorobe. Excited to be here. Looking forward to great conversations.
Okay, all right. So welcome guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for going through Lagos traffic and everything and being here. Really appreciate you. Yeah, so before we dive right into today's topic, which is the Crate Challenge, I'd just like to ask you, what are some of your hobbies? Let's just get to know you a bit. Just tell us. I'll start from you and then we'll walk right.
So basically, I watch movies. I read non-fiction books, and I watch movies. And then so I pretty much watch movies and sleep. Series particularly. As Money Heist.
Yeah, same. I'm actually a homebody, so I just like to be in my space, watch movies, listen to music, read.
I'm just like a people person, you know. Like I just like to hang around people, yeah, basically. And if I just want to okay, let me be out of that space, I would just possibly, watch a movie, or something.
None of you mentioned social media because a lot of people spend I'm not trying to call you guys out or anything. Just sitting down here, y'all have been on your phone.
I was working.
Okay.
I was working.
Okay.
So social media for me, I don't know, it's ingrained. So I don't think it's
It's no longer even a thing.
It's no longer a thing.
It's not a lifestyle.
You're on the go and you're just always.
It's part of the.
Yeah. So I don't consider it
part of the things I spend my time on. But then in there is then the reality where you now find, actually, the fact that we don't consider it, when we actually want to take the data of how much time we are trying to spend on it.
Do you have
it's funny, it can now pass and you get that 4 hours, 6 hours.
Yeah, you're just
spend on social media
scrolling
on a
like
day.
a vortex. You're just going and going and going. So actually at night, before you sleep, before you know, you spend 2 hours.
So the reason I brought social media up is because we have different challenges every night. This week is one challenge, the next week is another. And one of the challenges that flooded social media was the Crate Challenge. And that Crate Challenge, to me, I don't understand it. Just like many other challenges that we have. People stack up crates and you have to take the risk for no prize money. So I just want to ask, what is your thought on that kind of challenge? What do you think about that challenge? Stacking up things just because for bragging rights or for just the fact that people are doing this thing? Let me dive right in. What's your thought on the Crate Challenge?
First of all, I don't understand so many of the challenges that have been, since last year, since coronavirus, it was almost as if our brains just left us. Immediately they locked us inside. Yeah. So I don't understand, and I just find it very funny that, you would actually go, walk into, it's like walking into especially in Nigeria. Why are you putting yourself through that? I understand the people abroad, you have health insurance and stuff. But Nigeria, I don't get, Igbobi is on strike, everybody's on strike. I don't get it, why? So I don't understand that one.
Okay. So for me, for the Crate Challenge, I looked at it in passing. I really did not. So I saw it. I'm wondering it must be a joke. Somebody must be acting something up. And so I didn't even give time to it. But later I started seeing injuries, and I'm like, I move on fast because that's not my reality. It's not as long as none of my family members, none of my friends do it.
I feel like people are going through a lot. And so they're just looking for every way to just ease off.
By putting more problems on yourself.
That is my problem with the Crate Challenge.
I mean, for the other TikTok dances and all, I get that. But
that one, I just cruise.
But,
that's just where I look at it. Because I'm I don't think that probably on the go exactly. I don't think anyone in his sane mind, like you said, people who have greater challenges would say you want to climb stuff like that, you know. So I just think that it's just the normal social media stuff.
Okay, so I'm glad we've been able to establish how it doesn't make so much sense, but people do it anyways because a lot of people are doing it. Yeah. And that leads us to the next subtopic basically. We have a lot of Ponzi schemes that have come and gone and that might come again. And if you even think about those Ponzi schemes critically, they really don't make sense because when somebody tells you drop 20K and in 1 week you get 100K, if you want to be honest with yourself, if you have done your research on investment and you know on ETFs and you know what you're talking about, not a lot of investments give you 400% in 1 week. And even if they do, it's not going to be that easy where you just put it.
Even if they do their high risk,
it's still very high, and there are certain things that have to be in place for you to even have access to those kind of investments. So when people just tell you, so back to where you were saying people are going through a lot. So I feel like, yes, there's a lot of poverty in Nigeria and people can't just wait to escape. So any opportunity, you just want to dive into it. But you are so eager to dive into the opportunity that you dive into a problem. Because at the end of some of these Ponzi schemes like so many people were left in debt. Because it kept going on and people just kept putting more. So you make 100K, you put 200 next time. So it has given you the illusion that this thing is real up until it's not, and then it's ended. So I just want to ask you, what's your thoughts on these fast money ventures, get rich quick, and all these Ponzi schemes? What's your thoughts on it? And let's just honestly confess, if you have been in one.
MMM came out when I was in NYSC. That was 2016, 2017, 2016, December 2017. So, and then at the time, I knew I didn't want to have anything to do with MMM. But then this is the thing. A religious body I was part of, the head of that, our zone, the religious thing, was a part of it. I said, it's doing business. I said, I said, I now feel like maybe there's something wrong with me. I need to do business too. That means I'll be a money maker. I mean, make money. I mean, and you know why? You're a copper in Benue State. You're really not making money. You're just serving the nation. You know, so meet I go do. And then I fought the idea because normally schemes like that, something I would be interested in normally. But because now somebody close to me is doing it, I'm actually getting money. In fact, the entire copper community started doing it. So there was MMM, then there was one, Ultimate Cycler.
Yes, that was the
There was that one. That was the one that interested me. That Ultimate Cycler, because it seemed not too far-fetched. It seemed that it works, it works, it works. I'm like, okay, let me try. At the time, I wanted to.
It was the same logic.
At the time, yeah, same logic, but different names, and then this one looked more believable because it was working fast for people. At the time, I wanted to just try it. It was December, I wanted to try it. That's when they shut down. They said, MMM shut down. So thankfully, I did not try it.
So no. I've fallen victim. You know what I mean? When you said Ponzi scheme, I remembered.
Flashbacks.
Yeah, right. The flashback came when it came when, you know, just like you said, there's like a lot of problem in Nigeria. So when you see an opportunity as a young person, you just be like, oh, okay, let me just try this out, you know. So it was an NYC related stuff too, you know. So, you know, I was serving, you know, in Abia State then, you know, and this guy I was towards the end of my service here, and he just called. He was like, oh, Copper Ben, you are so good, and blah, 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 and XYZ. And he was like, oh, I know that you stay in Lagos, you know, so I want you to help me move some, you know, some bags of rice and stuff like that. And he was like, well, I'll transfer 100K to your account, you know, XYZ. When you get there, just help me. So I was like, okay, fine. He said, hey, you know, he did all the maths and all this stuff like that. It was like, oh, nice, cool money. You know, it's like, don't worry, when you do this, you know, in like 2 months, time, we'll double it. I was like, the funny thing is, this same guy said was an honorable. And after you back and forth, it was like, hey, you know, so I don't have credits to call you, so I should send him money. So I'm like,
look at Ben. Ben is going through it right now.
Ben, you know the adult.
Exactly. He's going through a lot.
like, no, you know. But actually, because of my, will I say, I was gullible then, you know. So I sent him like 5K. It was like, yeah, it was because you know, like I said, he had made the whole thing seem so believable.
So you were thinking long term.
I was thinking, you know. So for me, I just think that, you know, as young people, the whole story is long, but because of time, you know, I just think as young people, we just need to be more. We need to really, like they say, patience is a virtue. Like we need to really be patient in this age, and we need to also be enlightened. because I think that it has to do with enlightenment also, and has to do with how exposed you are to all this stuff, you know, so that someone will not just come and, you know.
Yeah, but I also want to ask, so the flip side to this thing is, you know, the whole Ponzi schemes and everything is like the obvious Ponzi. But I feel like sometimes we play ourselves when we are trying to live above our means, because that in itself is, this time around we're the one we are now, there's nobody, but because of probably social media, peer pressure, which is still linked to the Create Challenge and even the MMM, people are doing it. People are looking good. My mates, when we're all coppers, are doing this, are doing that. So you now trick yourself. This time you don't need anybody to live above your means, and then you end up with nothing, which in itself is the subtle version of all of this. So I think we should just touch on that. I mean, what has been your experience? What has been the pressure like? Have you ever felt some sort of pressure to meet up to some standard that somebody set for you, who probably living some fake life somewhere, and then you now pressure your own self, lie to yourself, and then you're left with nothing because you couldn't invest money into something profitable, but into a lifestyle that is not real? So what do you think?
Yes, okay, you want to start with me?
Yeah,
it's
let's
okay. It's fine. So normally, when I think about way back, and I was talking about this with Jane one time, Jennifer, and I said, I remember way back, I really didn't used to, you hardly get me bothered about other people because I'm not really doing badly myself. So. And that is based on my perception of myself.
And your perception of good and bad.
Exactly. So, you know, but then, you see, you can always find yourself lost in the fact that at one time I found myself wanting to measure up to other people. And then when I figured, oh, they're actually older than me. They've had more time to do this stuff. So they've had more time. Why am I trying to measure myself with these people? And so I deliberately had to then take steps backwards. I'm like, no. I'm going to set my own pace and, you know, run my own race, decide what is an achievement for me at this time, what is acceptable at this time. And then when I did that, which is what I've always been doing, but then I did that back again, you know, sort of got comfortable in my own skin.
For me, I've always like been self-aware. So I don't even know if I'm like the best person to speak about this, but I've always been self-aware. I've never like felt any pressure from outside to measure up to a certain standard or whatever. So and then the people I surrounded myself with as well also are on that same wavelength, you know. I set my goals and I know that, okay, I have long-term goals, I have short-term goals. And when I look back, access them, I can see that, okay, there's progress. So I don't feel the need to like judge myself based on like what other people are doing. And I am very aware that, okay, everybody has their own race. Yeah. So what is success for me might not necessarily be what is success for you. So
indicators are different.
I want to take it from a social media angle. You know, because of the way media has become, and for example, technology as it came with its good, it came with its ugly. You know, and so a lot of young people, like I said again, it just goes back to the conversation of patience. You know, and I feel like, just like she said, a lot of young people need to understand that everybody has their own time, you know. And let me use my personal experience, you know. So as a young person, as a millennial, better, right? Yeah, right. You know, so from my very young age, I've done a lot, you know. And so I got to a stage in my life where that was immediately I graduated from school, you know. So at that stage, I was like, I did a lot in school, you know. So I was like my school one and me one, like I was everywhere, you know. And coming out of school, like it was a new phase for me, you know. And that time was not, I didn't know until recently when the conversation of depression, you know, became, I didn't know that it was, because I was, thank God for the people I had, just like her, you know, around me. Like those guys were really the guys that held me strong, because at that time I was completely out, because I knew that I have actually done a lot. I felt like it would just be like a roller coaster journey, and from here, pam, you know, and it was just like this, you know, so I just feel like, yeah, you know, I feel like young people, we also need to understand that life is not, like, it won't come the way you plan, you know, and there will be ups and downs, you know, and so the moment you understand that everything you experience is part of you growing up and becoming better. You know, that pressure won't be there. You know, and going back to the social media thing, I think that we also need to understand that there's a reason why it is called social media. There's a reason why it is called social.
Why is it called social?
Very good question. It is called social because it's a place for you to express, you know, yourself in a way that other people, in a way that you might not be able to do it maybe
in person.
Okay. You know, and you know, connect with people on a more wider scale.
As self-aware as I am, I also don't like. I also recognize that because I have a younger sister and she's like a Gen Z, and I feel like for us millennials, maybe we had it easy because like maybe some of us like are very aware, but for them, for the generation after us, like there's this need to meet up to a certain standard. Yeah, so I feel like. They
as if their life was accelerated.
Yes,
by
so
the
they didn't have the
saw.
time. Yes, they didn't have the time.
Most millennials knew of a life before social media. This is the only life they've known. So this is their own normal.
This is their normal.
Fast track.
Oh, this person is real, and I'm like, it's not real. You know, you need to understand that it's not real. So don't let anybody pressure you into living above your means.
Yeah, true.
Okay, just to round up, please just tell me what money means to you now. Just to round up, what money means to you, and if you could speak to a version of you 10 years younger, what would you tell?
10 years younger, how old was I? Okay.
Yeah, calculate. And then just tell that version of you something about money that you feel would have helped you.
10 years younger, some people were doing. I'm telling you. Gen Z. But anyways, 10 years younger, I was in SS3. Writing work. So if I wanted to tell myself about money, it would be that little savings and the habit of saving would definitely add up. The habit of saving would definitely add up. It would definitely make sense. So that's what I would tell myself.
All right.
For me, money means freedom, like freedom to live life on my terms. And if I were to tell myself, like my 10 years younger self, because I was 18, 10 years ago, and I was in school, like very stressed about, okay, what would the future be like? You know, I've always been very independent. And if I'll tell her, you know, just calm down, everything will work out. Like, you know, just calm down.
10 years ago, did I really understand money? You know, because for me, she had opportunity of, you know, engaging with money at the early stage, you know, but for me, I'm just, right. So for me, maybe because I mean, my environment didn't really give me that opportunity, you know, because my parents were just like, my parents are like extreme, like the educationist kind of people, you know, so you know, making money at that time wasn't really their thing, like focus, do this and do that, you know. So for me, I'll just say that if I would speak to myself some years back, I would say that I would have wished that I really got opportunity to start, you know, early, you know, maybe saving, maybe, you know, understanding how to make and manage money, you know, at the early stage, even though it would be at a basic level, you know. And I think that people who are 10 years younger than me, that's something I would tell them, you know, that at this stage you really need to understand, you know, you might not really be doing the 1 naira, 2 naira for now, you know, but you need to really understand what money is, you know, and how to multiply it, you know, so that, you know, you don't, because for me, I think that was one of my biggest bane, you know, it just came at me. Maybe if I was more prepared, you know, about multiplying money, you know, at that time, you know, maybe I'll have, you know, me become the next Jeff
Bezos.
And it's never too early to start.
I agree.
It's never too early. Like,
finish me.
It's never too, and no matter how small, you might think, oh, I'm earning just 10K, like barely enough to like cater to my needs and whatnot. But 1,000 naira over 12 months, that's 12,000.
So it's the habit that's important, not even the amount.
Not even the amount.
Yeah, it's the habit, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Building a healthy financial habit is very important.
I agree with everything you guys have said. For me, I've always loved savings, and I think that's because I was the first child. I am. See, I said I was.
Maybe
she just found out that.
There's one before you.
I am the first child, and I've always liked savings because I've always wanted to at least have something of my own. But one thing that I have come to know with time and evolution is that it's not just about savings, it's about investing. Because I became more aware of the environment and the economy that we are in. And if I had saved over 10 years, 100K, it would not even mean as much as it did then if there's no level of investment. So investment is really important. And I think it's important for me to handle money as a visitor and not as a family member. So I'm not taking it too personal. You get, like, it's not too personal, because when it's too personal, you'll be scared of investing. That way you won't want to be able to invest it. Just now, this thing is a visitor. So that way you can put it out there, but just do your calculation so you don't invest wrongly. That way that money will go and come back to you. Like,
and even if you invest wrongly, like, it's a learning.
It's a lesson. But people are too scared of taking risk. That, for instance, now this Bitcoin thing, I don't blame them.
People don't have the luxury of taking risk.
Thank you. That's,
you don't have the luxury
of
taking risk.
So still, so I think it's the level thing.
Of course.
Because this whole crypto thing, a lot of people, you know, when crypto starts going up, now you hear the news again, crypto. Now that it's sinking, have you heard anything? No. And when the news comes up, you see people will go and give other people their money. They don't want to learn. They'll say, you do it and give me the money. And that thing, I don't think is healthy, because my brother did it and the person lost the money. And you can't do anything about it. But at least if you had done it, you would have learned the lesson.
And the thing is, nobody will, like, if it's your money, your own hardest money, you would
think well. You would make the right decision. Yes. Yeah. And even if you fail, you know that, okay, I paid for this lesson. Yeah. Now you've paid for someone else's lesson.
Exactly.
So I think, yeah, that is my own opinion. But I told you guys this episode would be sweet. Now, see, you know, intelligent people in the building. So thank you guys so much for coming. I really, really enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much. So, I mean, just one last thing for you to tell the audience about peer pressure. Just in a few words, just talk to them one last thing and then we'll wrap up.
So about peer pressure, I would say that...
And money.
So peer pressure and money, I would say that never assume that you have passed the stage of peer pressure. Peer pressure, because you can assume that peer pressure is a conversation for teenagers and maybe younger. There's never a time where peer pressure is absent. So take caution. The more we take caution about peer pressure, we are then able to then, ward off this thing. That's for me.
I mean, there's good peer pressure and there's bad peer pressure. So I feel like you need to be self-aware and understand who you are, so that whatever is coming in, like, you can be able to assess it and then, like, take what you need to take.
So for me, I'll just say that the most important thing about peer pressure is just know who you are. You know, I so much like this saying. I mean, I put it like everywhere: to thy own self be true. You know, because the truth is, you know, like I do LinkedIn a lot. You know, and you know, there's a guy on LinkedIn. You know, he has this huge following. You know, and I met him one-on-one. I'm like, okay, you know, I'm like, didn't match up. You know, so I was like, okay, even if, I mean, a friend of mine that has like 500 or 200 followers would do better than this guy with 25,000, you know, so be true to yourself, you know, because in the end, that's really all that matters, you know, so for me, that's just about it. Be true to yourself, know who you are, and continue growing yourself, you know.
If there's one thing you're going to take away from this entire conversation, is that social media is not real. Like, real life is very different from social media.
I really enjoyed this episode. I hope you did. Okay.
Meanwhile, wait. Yeah, okay. Are you an introvert or an extrovert or an introvert? Because everybody has been following that trend.
No, I'm an introvert.
You're an introvert.
I
know. But Ben.
Extrovert.
Ambivert.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Let me warn you, don't say it. I don't hear Pick a side.
Introvert.
You be
extrovert.
No, the thing is, introverts actually make very good conversationalists.
Okay, so your social media handle?
Also, Iyorobhe, IYORIOBHE, yeah, on Instagram.
Jenny, like Jhena, like Jenny Aiko.
Aiko, alright.
No, Jenny, just Jenny. Jhena.
Okay, alright.
It's a Ben of Vegas. It's like
Ben
_ Vegas.
And I am your host, Queen Kamba. Thank you guys so much. My Instagram handle is @QueenKamba1. Thank you so much for
Africa.
Of the world! Of the world! Thank you guys so much for staying with us, and I'll see you next week.